Moving on, we also have the Stadia, and bro, we all saw this coming. Stadia announces that it is shutting down on January 18th, 2023. What do you think of that, Spoons?
Well, first of all, there's 5 exclusive games that are going to disappear with that system. And unfortunately, this is what I've been warning about for some time when it comes to going all digital media. This is a huge problem developers are going to have to face when it comes to this. And it's frustrating because again, all these games disappearing. These games people have bought on Stadia, they're not going to have access to anymore once those servers shut down. Meaning these people that dumped thousands of dollars into video games and were actively playing on Stadia are getting the middle finger. And this is the world that we move into about digital media. This is why physical content like this game right here, Skyrim for the PlayStation 3, is important.
Oh, you got the GameStop
Granted, that's
case?
not the best example. That is not the best example of a game because the amount of DLC and shit that needs to be downloaded for it and patches. But this is why physical media is something that needs to stick around. This is why companies like Good Old Games are important, and DRM is something that we need to. Because once these servers are done, they're gone, everything's history. And unless you have a massive, massive, massive hard drive, then there's so many games that you're going to lose. And so it's just something to keep in mind. Game preservation is at a threat, and Stadia proves this.
Yeah.
It also makes me wonder the longevity of cloud gaming in general, and at the whims of these companies just up and deciding, yeah, you know what, it's not really making turn on that like we wanted to. Let's just up and do away with it.
It's crazy that you bring that up. Well, it's not crazy. I mean, it's obvious why you'd bring it up, but the fact that it's cloud gaming, you have exclusive games that came out on Stadia. I don't think Google really put in their entire effort into the system. I really think they half-assed the system. The reason
Well,
being, they
they half-assed it. They jumped into it with no like
they,
everything else Google tries to do. It's like, oh, let's make money off of this. They didn't do anything great with it, really.
yeah, and like you said, cloud gaming. I don't know if it will ever pick up. Cloud gaming is nice just for it to be there, as a feature for anything, but as an overall, hey, the system only does cloud gaming. I knew that thing was gonna be a fail from the start. Nobody is sitting around just saying, hey, I can buy all these games in the cloud, and then just not. I don't know. I don't think cloud gaming will ever pick up. 100%.
Well, the physical
With that.
hardware needs to be there to support it.
Well, what hardware do we
Companies
have?
like Steam and that needs to or companies like the consoles need to exist, and then the cloud gaming needs to exist along with it. There needs to be a way for both. What I mean by that is people can buy games on Steam and play games on the cloud. That's a cool idea. Being able to play the Dead Space remake, which we will talk about here in this here in a little bit in another episode here, but being able to play them on your phone while sitting on the shitter or while at work on lunch break by just streaming is a really novel concept. I really like that idea. But I don't think cloud gaming, I don't think the internet infrastructure is there. If you live in a bigger city, yeah, for sure it is. The internet structure is there. But when you start moving out to rural areas like Idaho, Montana, Wyoming, just to name some others, the internet infrastructure and what people don't realize is it's always at least 5 to 7 years behind because it takes time to run all those wires.
Yeah.
While some of these cities have fiber optics just something that's barely coming into my area, and that's been around for more than 5 years. So the internet infrastructure needs to keep up. There's other cities that are running 5G. There's some companies that are still trying to transition from 4G to 5G. It's a slow process when this technology happens, and that is the increasing problem we see with everything. when it comes to any form of technology is technology in this day and age is increasing at a far faster rate than what it ever has before. And unfortunately, we can't keep up with technology evolving. And right now, that's the main reason I think these video game companies haven't gone with the cloud-based structure that they want to or that they're trying to push, is because the internet infrastructure just isn't there to support the masses that would need to. And that's why Stadia failed. It was ahead of its time. But they also didn't market it very well either. They didn't go out and try to get any exclusives. You come to me and say, hey, we're building a video game system exclusive to Google. The first thing I do is get a giant meeting with all of the giant corporations and say, hey, I've got Google backing me. We're willing to make this work. We're willing to do something. What exclusive games can you make strictly for the Stadia that is going to get people to come into our system and say, wow, I have to pick up Stadia and play? And Google just didn't do that.
Well, what's crazy is that, like, there's so much they could have done with this thing. It was really a waste of time and a waste of resources. Nobody, I don't think I've heard. None of my friends got Google Stadia at all. And like you said, library games, they didn't have any exclusives. They didn't support it, which is one of the biggest reasons why it failed. They did not support the system at all.
Yeah.
If they would have supported it, if they would have gotten games, if they would have been constantly advertised, if it was something you saw like all the time on the street, people would buy it. People would go out and check it out. But the fact is, it wasn't practical. And not only that, Google Stadia is also going into that market where, like, right now we have remote play for PlayStation. We have, the Xbox remote play as well. We have Windows has their own version of, like either streaming the games to your phone and stuff like that. It's starting to become more common, but it's not something that I don't know. I don't see myself paying for
the way Steam handles it, right, is if the game's supported on there, I can have my PC fired up at home in the background. I can have that on. And my internet's strong enough, I can have that play on my 5G while I'm at work and be able to play. But problem is, my internet's not strong enough to run that infrastructure. But I feel like that's where cloud gaming should go. That's why I said the physical hardware to run these games always needs to exist. And then cloud gaming should be something that you buy the game on a digital front. You have the game in your library. You can download it on your PC, but use your own internet and your own phone provider to then do it. I don't like the idea of having these servers off in another area. And, there's a myriad of complications we could get into, Shrooms, about people doing this and why it's not a great idea. We run into the problem with a Super Nintendo and a PlayStation. Internet's down, servers are down. I can always pop in my disc and play it. If we're going strictly by cloud gaming and something happens to Microsoft servers and, I'm running cloud gaming off of there, I can't access the games while they're down. That is a problem.
Yeah. So, I mean, until I think this stuff we'll start seeing it again, maybe in maybe 10 years from now. I'm pretty sure someone will come out and try it, but as of right now, I didn't think it was the best one for them.
If by some odd chance that a lawyer comes along and watches this video, please, for the love of everything that's great about video games, get to your local government and start making laws now about what companies can and can't do with cloud gaming, because they are going to destroy gaming the way we know it and make a push to make everything all in the cloud. And we'll be at the mercy of these companies. We need to be right now making laws that are ahead of the game, so when this technology adapts, the consumers aren't the ones getting screwed in the ass at the end.
Yeah. So, if you guys did buy a Google Stadia or you bought that subscription service and you bought stuff on there, let us know
Let us know how pissed you are.
Yeah, because all your stuff is gone now.
And I feel bad for you. I really do. I'm not going to be like one of those assholes on Twitter who sucks to be you. You shouldn't have bought it. No, that legitimately sucks. Yeah. And Google should have to refund you for everything